Hello everyone, I'm Vanessa and today I'm here to do a library book haul. So I checked out a lot of books from the library. I have a huge stack. I'm just gonna insert a picture so you can see it. Yeah, basically the story is that, as you probably know, I work at my local library and we shut down for the time being. Like the last week or so, employees have still been allowed in the branch just for like a couple hours a week to, like clean out the return bin and water the plants and stuff like that. But I am expecting that we're gonna get put totally back work from home again. And if that's gonna happen, I'm using my noggin this time, okay? I'm thinking ahead and I wanna be prepared. So the last time that I went into the branch for something, I also stocked up on some books. So that is what I have to share with you today, this giant pile of lockdown books that I have chosen to keep me company in case of another quarantine. There is quite a bit, so I'm gonna try and organize it a little bit by starting with the adult books I have checked out, and then I'll do some like genre, and then we'll move into the YA books because I have the most YA books, of course. So first of all, I checked out If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. I have seen this book going around quite a bit on BookTube, and I think it's set in Korea and deals with like beauty standards and stuff like that. So it sounds really good and really interesting. Glad I could snag it. I also have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I was not aware that this was not a YA, but it doesn't say YA. So I picked this up because Allie talks about it all the time. She loves it so much, so I wanted to read it. This says that it is about 7 young Shakespearean actors at the Delaware Classical Conservatory. I don't know, someone dies or something, and then they're being like investigated by the police. I'm not totally sure, but it sounds like really dark and pretty cool. I also have The Deep by Amakatsu, which I've already talked about quite a few times, but basically this is a kind of supernatural, spooky retelling of the Titanic. And if that doesn't sound amazing, I don't know what does. But her other book wasn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be, and I've also heard some not great things about this one, but I still want to give it a chance. And then another book that I picked up, it's called Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller. I don't think I've ever heard of this. I might have. And apparently it's about like a little girl and her father takes her out to live in the wilderness, like in the forest. I'm not sure why or like what happens, but then it also says after Peggy's return to civilization, her mother begins to learn the truth of her escape, of what happened to James, her father, on the last night out in the woods, and of the secret that Peggy has carried ever since. I don't know, it just sounds really interesting. And then I have another one with kind of like creepy, spooky vibes, and that is Don't Breathe a Word by Jennifer McMahon. I'm pretty sure this is the author of The Invited, which was like a spooky ghost story book, and this one is about little kids being like taken to the fairy realm, and I'm hoping that it's like in a scary way. So it sounds like it is. I also grabbed Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I don't know if I'm gonna read this, but we had like 3 copies just sitting there ripe for the picking, so I grabbed one. I just thought this would be a good one to have around in case the mood strikes me. And then I picked up some romance books from the romance section just because I feel like they're always good to have around. You never know when you're just gonna really need a therapeutic romance book. I got Simple Wild. I think this came from actually my last book haul. I've just had it this whole time. But this is about a girl who I believe goes to live in the Alaskan wilderness and like falls in love. Sounds great. Look at this beautiful foggy tree forest. It's a mood, and it's a mood that I might want to live inside of for a while in the coming months. I also got Roomies by Christina Lauren just because I really loved The Unhoneymooners, and the little tagline says, "Marriages of convenience are so inconvenient." Look, the tropes, the romance tropes, we all love them. So the next one that I got was The Lady of Milkweed Manor by Julie Klassen. I've never read any Julie Klassen, but I've been eyeballing all of her covers for so long at work. I just, like, look at it. One time I was looking at this book in the library and Jesse told me that Milkweed Manor sounds like the name of a Regency era brothel, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know. But then I read the back and I think that actually might be the case. I don't know, actually, I have no idea. It says even a proper vicar's daughter can make a mistake, and now Charlotte Lamb must pay a high price for her fall and go and live at Milkweed Manor. So I don't know what that is. Sounds good, it looks good. I'm a slut for historical fiction, to be completely honest. So on that same note, I actually checked out some DVDs of like every single Jane Austen movie adaptation known to man so that I can get my Jane Austen on. We got the BBC Pride and Prejudice, which I've never seen. I know that a lot of people say that this is superior to the Keira Knightley one, but I don't know about that. I'm gonna be honest, these people all look a little bit frumpy. I don't know how people are thirsting over this man. This man right here? I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Then this one has Sense and Sensibility and Persuasion, which I have seen neither in any film adaptation, so I'm pretty excited. Okay, and then before we get into YA, the last book that I have is this. It's a Oregon Trail, Danger at the Haunted Gate, Choose Your Own Adventure book. I have plans for this book, actually. I don't know when I'll be doing it, but I was thinking we could do this together. Like, I think I might do on Instagram. I'll read the chapter and then you guys vote on like what option you want to pick. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you would do with me. I really want to. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into the YA I have picked out. It's a lot. I guess I'll start with the ones that I've already had for a while, like A Court of Wings and Ruin. I was buddy reading this with Allie and Amanda during the first quarantine, and then we kind of stopped halfway and never finished it, so thinking I might finish it. I've also had the Blackcoats checked out for a while now, so hopefully I can get to it soon. This is about a girl who is invited to join a secret society club thing of people that take vengeance on men who have hurt girls and women and did not receive justice for it. So, and then I already talked about King of Crows in my end of the year book tag, so I also picked up King of Crows in a physical copy so that I can have it ready to go whenever I need it. I have The Girl from the Well by Rin Chapeko, which I was gonna read for Spooktober, but I didn't get around to. This is about, it kind of reminds me of The Ring. Like, is this not The Ring and The Well? Okay, I'm just saying. I think that might be just like a Japanese ghost story thing, because I think this is based off of kind of like Japanese folklore. So the description is that she's a ghost who has wandered the world for centuries, freeing the spirits of the murdered dead, because she was also a murder victim. I also picked up Angel Fall by Susan E. This has just been on my TBR for so many years. I think that this is kind of like an apocalypse story where like the angels have come down to Earth, but I think the angels are bad. I'm not sure. I also picked up All Out, which is a short story collection, and I think they're all based on like historical or like folktale stuff, but they're also all queer. So it says, from a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood set in war-torn 1870s Mexico featuring a transgender soldier, to two girls falling in love while mourning the death of Kurt Cobain, forbidden love in a 16th century Spanish convent, or an asexual girl discovering her identity amid the 1970s roller disco scene. All Out tells a diverse range of stories across cultures, time periods, and identities, shedding light on an area of history often ignored or forgotten. That sounds amazing, and I'm so excited to read this. Ooh, I also picked up Legendborn, which I am so happy that a copy of this came across my desk and I was able to pick it up. I'm so excited. This sounds so good. I have heard this book described as magical dark academia, and I hope that that's accurate because that sounds so good. I don't know, it says that the main character's mother dies and she goes to a residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill. So boarding school, and then like magic stuff starts happening and there's a secret society who hunt down bad magical creatures, and it says something that they're like the descendants of King Arthur's knights. This just sounds so good. I am so freaking excited about this. I am also so excited about The Dark Days Club. I don't know why or how I haven't read this yet. It seems like a travesty to me. This is set in Regency London, and it's about a girl who's like trying to be a proper lady, but then she gets sucked into like a magical shadow underworld. I mean, it just sounds so perfect and right up my alley. I also picked up The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. Again, this has just been on my TBR forever, and I have loved Holly Black since I was a teenager. Like, she has been the queen of my fairy heart for decades, and I just can't believe I've never read her vampire book, right? This is about vampires. I think they're vampires. I don't know. I just know it's Holly Black and I really need to read it. And then along that same line, I actually picked up the first 3 books in the Ink Exchange series by Melissa Marr. I don't know if anyone else has read these. I haven't seen them on BookTube or anything. I read Wicked Lovely when I was like 14. It's about fairies, and I remember it being very gritty. Like, I'm kind of wondering if I'm even still gonna like it because I remember it being very edgy. You know, like the love interest I think has a labret piercing, which is just very 2007. When was this even published? I'm just gonna look at it. 2007. See, I know what I'm talking about, you guys. And I'm gonna say, I think this is gonna be pretty bad, but I still really, really want to reread it just because I have such strong nostalgic memories of like reading this under the covers at nighttime at my grandma's house. And I never continued the series. Like, I read Wicked Lovely and I loved it. And then for some reason, I just never thought to check out the other books. We're almost done though. I only have 2 more books. The first one is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. I honestly don't know anything about this book. I know I've seen it a couple times on BookTube, but mostly this cover is just so pretty. It says it's about a girl whose parents send her away for the summer to a strict educational immersion program in Taiwan, but instead she finds the infamous love boat and she's surrounded by prodigies and like all of these people that are supposed to be at this super prestigious international school, right? But her classmates are more interested in the non-stop Taipei nightlife than anything to do with the curriculum. It says hookups abound, snake blood sake flows, and adult supervision is non-existent. It sounds fun. All right, and then the last book that I picked up was Agnes at the End of the World. Again, I've seen this a couple times around BookTube, but I'm not totally familiar with it. And it seems kind of like dystopian and weird. It says, on Judgment Day, we shall shelter in the underground temple with food enough for 400 days. Oh, it's about a girl who lives in a cult. Oh, that sounds super cool. This sounds really exciting. Oh my gosh. Woo, okay, I am so excited. I know that this was a lot of books. I think I have a total of 30 books checked out from the library right now, which feels like a lot to me, but also working there, I know that a lot of people have like 300 books checked out at a time. Like, some of these moms with little kids just come in with like shopping carts to check out books. So I'm trying not to feel too bad about it. And I feel good for being prepared. And I'm really grateful that I'm able to have these books to read, even if the library might close down. I'm just really, really grateful for libraries and everything that they do for us. I don't know how boring my life and my BookTube channel would be without my library. So I guess if you take any message from this video, I mean, first of all, take COVID seriously because shit's getting really bad. Like, my local hospital has hospital beds in the parking garage. That's the reason why stuff around you is closing down. Second of all, like I said, just be grateful for your local library. If you have one, support it. Understand how blessed you are to live in a world where there are libraries. Anyways, let's end this super random video conclusion. I hope that you guys liked this library haul. Let me know if you found any new books to read from it, if there's anything in here you might be adding to your TBR. Support your local library, take care of the people around you, be safe, and I hope I get to talk to you soon. Bye!